Thank you, Father Mark. Good morning. It's Stewardship Month, the time when we're talking about pledging to St. Francis, and I'm going to talk for a few minutes about it from the accounting side. Operating budget. What is an operating budget? And especially when it comes to St. Francis, what is an operating budget? An operating budget covers the expenses of running the church, not the capital campaign, which pays for some of the large things that have been replaced around the physical place. It's only the expenses of running the day-to-day operation. If you think about a church, what is it by expenses? What are the typical expenses of a church? What would you expect to see? It's the most basic needs, and a majority of those needs are the people that run it and the physical place, the buildings and the land and the parking lot, everything that's here. So the top expenses at St. Francis are the personnel and the property. If you look at the special handout for today that shows the pie charts in the middle, there's the one pie chart on expenses that shows that 75% of our operating expenses falls into personnel and property maintenance. Salaries and fringe benefits pay for the clergy and the administrative staff, and the building maintenance and repairs for this aging property currently make up 75% of our operating budget. So one thing that you will not see in our expenses at St. Francis is interest, because we are debt-free. And that is due to some very wise stewardship that we've inherited and will continue. So the expenses through the operating budget of St. Francis is just the running of the church. So annual giving through pledges are used to pay this operating budget, not for the capital campaign and those big items that we're paying for especially through that, or other specific donations that people give for special items. And everything in the expenses that is spent for St. Francis is approved by the vestry. Our parish is like a household. Just like in your household, we figure out our revenues and budget expenses not to exceed them, and also hopefully to provide something for a rainy day. How do we get an operating budget at St. Francis? The audit committee supervises management to make a line-by-line budget with extreme detail and thoughtfulness, predicting the coming year's expenses. Then the vestry approves it for the upcoming year. We'll be doing this for 2019 soon, like I think next week. The audit committee and the vestry are both very actively involved in this process, and they try very hard to get it right. There's a half a dozen or more volunteers. Many of them are here today. Henry, Fred, John, Father Mark, Chris, and the entire vestry are all dedicated and spend a lot of time on this. The process is a little scientific, a little bit of luck, and a lot of well-informed and thoughtful. The vestry had a facilities condition assessment study done this year for the entire physical facility. This will provide reliable information on what our future replacements and major repairs are going to be and approximately when, so that this helps inform thoughtfully our budget process. The recent good news that's been announced about the future lease of our school area to the Georgetown Hill Daycare next year, unfortunately, is not going to result in any net rental increases until the year 2022. We project what the pledges are going to be and also the expenses as realistically as possible. And then we work with any gaps or shortfalls. This year, we hope to raise an extra $100,000 over last year to help cover the expenses that we anticipate of running the church. This year, we hope to budget a small surplus for St. Francis because we're having more rainy days than not lately with the aging facility and the repairs and maintenance that are required. Why pledge? St. Francis needs the pledges or the information from you telling us what you plan to give for the upcoming year so that we can budget more reliably for St. Francis. In the pledge card mailing that went out this week, everyone received, hopefully, there's a step chart which shows how families at St. Francis pledge. You can see how you fit into the steps and use it as a tool to figure out your pledge for this year as it fits into your household budget. We're encouraging everyone to try and grow one step if you can, and God willing. Faith through gratitude. I'm grateful for St. Francis in my life in so many ways, and one way that I show how grateful I am is by pledging.